Well, well, well. Here we go. What's up, everybody? How's it going? It's nice to see the camera and the lights and all this beautiful stuff behind us. I'm broadcasting myself. You know, it happens sometimes. So I've got a temporary setup going on right now, and as you can see from the wonderful non-decorative artwork or whatnot behind me, this is actually I'm in one of those fancy San Francisco startups. I'm on the third floor here at Eero headquarters, Eero HQ. As you guys know, I've got a day job and have a fantastic time playing with residential Wi-Fi here with the wonderful company Eero. And so I was here today. I'm out here in San Francisco, and of course, right as soon as I start going, they're vacuuming. I thought it was a lawnmower outside, but they're vacuuming right on top of me. So I hope that that's not too loud or distracting. Either way, I'm here. I'm in San Francisco. Came out here for the weekend. Went to Wi-Fi Now. Got to spend some time with the crew over at Wi-Fi Now. It's pretty loud. I'll wait just a minute here. See if that goes away. I'm waiting for Mark to join. Mark Houts always joins first, right? Maybe he'll tell me if he can hear the vacuum. There we go. The vacuum is off. Fantastic. Anyway. So, as I mentioned, I'm out here in San Francisco, catty corner to the San Francisco Giants ballpark. They're playing a game right now. I thought that I might do that for dinner. Maybe I'll cruise by halfway through, get a discount ticket, eat a hot dog, enjoy my dinner and my time out here. Anyway, Salesforce Tower right behind me. Nice little scenery. Beautiful weather. Typical San Francisco weather. Anyway, this is the Waves podcast. What's new? What's now? What's next? What's happening? Got a little mic attached here. Got my screen there. Oh, and the man of the hour, Mr. Frenay, has joined. I'm glad. And I've got like a cool light too, so it looks pretty good, man. I'm very excited. Anyway, lots going on, lots to talk about this week. Wi-Fi Now was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, co-located with the Open Wi-Fi event and the summit and the Halo Summit. And so there was all this crazy stuff happening. And I got a chance to go out and spend time with the crew over there at Wi-Fi Now. Klaus, always thank you. I appreciate you inviting me, and I appreciate getting to hang out with everyone. You know, it's like a reunion when you walk into Wi-Fi Now. So what was really different about this is it appealed to the inner nerd in me because it was at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View. And if you've never been to the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, it's the old SGI building, so Silicon Graphics. Yeah, man, it was neat to be in that room and imagine all the things that took place there. So that was pretty cool. We got to see some innovative products, and I'll talk about those in just a little bit. But for now, I want to jump into some of the things I've been reading across the week in the spirit of what's new, what's now, and what's next. Let's see what we got here. I've got a little screen going right there where you can see some of the notes that I'm going to get into in just a second here. But I actually want to start with something a little bit different. We're going to start over here because Helium not only is a wonderful sponsor of the show, so we appreciate the Helium Network, everything that they do for us. If you don't know much about Helium, visit helium.com. You can learn all about becoming part of the Helium Network. It is insane, the statistics that they put up about what they're doing. And now they announced their AT&T partnership for Wi-Fi offload. So if you have a phone that's an AT&T phone and you come, or one of their MVNOs even, and you come within range of a Helium network, you'll automatically be offloaded. And this is, utilizing Hotspot 2.0, utilizing Passpoint to make this happen, which is tremendous. Mario Didio, our good friend Mario, did a wonderful presentation about this at Wi-Fi Now, and it was really cool. There's some statistics that they talk about here, I think. 2.3 million subscribers just in Telefonica's mobile flagship carrier in Mexico is bringing Helium to their 2.3 million subscribers in addition to AT&T and what they're doing. The quote here is AT&T and Helium are leading the way in setting Wi-Fi quality metrics. Now, this is really neat. One of the things that we learned about at Wi-Fi Now was what they're doing with these actual metrics. What they're doing is they're taking the network quality and they're shipping it back up to AT&T so that AT&T can monitor and measure the quality of the network connection using an assurance metric that's part of WBA. And so this is something Stuart Strickland, the CTO from Aruba, stood up and was like, right with applause for what Helium's doing, because this is a metric that basically says when the device goes to attach to the network, when the Wi-Fi device goes to attach to the Wi-Fi network, it sends up an assurance metric to say, hey, this is what the network's doing, this is how well it's working. And now you can take that data and you can push it northbound to the carrier so that the carrier knows it's a quality Wi-Fi connection. Why is this important? It's important because if AT&T is trusting Helium, the Helium network, to do Wi-Fi offload, AT&T doesn't want their customers to have a poor quality of experience if they're connected to Helium. And the only way to ensure that is either to put out a sensor or to build the network themselves or monitor the network, or use this assurance metric that's provided as part of what WBA is doing. So it's really, really neat to see how this is going back and forth, and how the carriers can now leverage the Helium network to identify where their network is working, where it's not working. So there's a lot to be said here, and it's really neat to know that AT&T is getting behind this. So kudos to the team over there at Helium, doing some fantastic work. It's really neat to see, and it's great to be a part of that, and I'm proud that they sponsor the show. It's such a cool thing. So more than 600,000 users a day. This actually, I know the number, I think, is above 700,000 users per day across 90,000 hotspots that Helium is working with. So that is awesome. Congrats to AT&T for making that happen, and congrats to Helium for having that all in the mix. In other news, alongside this, Google Fi, which also has this whole PassPoint thing going on. If you've ever used their product, is it Orion? I think it's called Orion, their Wi-Fi offload product. Anyway, if you've ever looked at that product or used that product, now Google Fi is launching a $35 a month unlimited plan. Now Google tried to get into the carrier game, or the MNO game, a while back, and you can use this as an MVNO. This one is a $35 per month for one line. It's the most affordable plan. It features 30 gig of high-speed data. As part of the change, it's renaming it Simply Unlimited Plan to Unlimited Standard, which still costs $50 a month for one line, and also offers up to 50 gig of high-speed data instead of 35. The unlimited standard plan now is 25 gig of high-speed data, tethering to 5 gig too. Now let me load something up here, because I thought that this is pretty awesome. If you want to do something neat, and I've talked about this before, and people have asked me about it, there's something called Helium Zero that if you don't want to spend any money on a mobile plan, this is the only carrier that offers a completely free plan. And so part of this, I want to bring it up because we're talking about money and whatnot. What you do is you activate it as an eSIM on your phone. So if you already have an existing carrier, you can activate it as a second device on there. You activate it as an eSIM, and it doesn't cost anything. It's 3 gig a month. And what you do, there's 3. Starting at free, choose 0 with 3 gig a day data level, or up to Air with 10 gig. Oh, the lights just went out on me where I'm sitting. Whoa, it's got a whole different vibe now. There's a motion detector that didn't get triggered. Whatever, we're just going to roll with it. Anyway, 0 contracts, bring your own device. This one, the 3 gig per month, they have an unlimited one as well, but the free one, the one that's completely free, it doesn't cost anything to set up. And once you set it up and you get going with it, what happens is, as long as you have your location services turned on, you earn credits for this. So it's 100 minutes of voice a month and 300 texts. But in a pinch, it's kind of cool. Monthly price 0. There's your broadband fat card. I think I've got that screen being shared. Fantastic. You can see your broadband fat card, and you can see what it does. On the Air one, it shows that it's $15 a month. Infinity is $30 a month. So even though Google Fi is busting out that $35 per month thing, this one is $0. No, dude. So free.99. Dude, it's crazy. I've had it running on my phone now I'm running it on a OnePlus 12. OnePlus is the name of the phone, and I'm running it on OnePlus 12, and it's working phenomenally. It works really well just when I need it. Good enough to handle one of my kiddos so that they can play some games. Anyway, so Google Fi is trying to match that, getting down to $35 a month. Fantastic. Happy to see it. Let's race to the bottom. Let's make these plans as economically feasible as possible for everybody that needs them. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have going on here? Nokia. This is interesting. So, yeah, just a quick mention, since it's a pop-up, Broadband Nation Expo has a call for speakers, November 17th through 19th. I don't know what that's about, but it's pop-up, so might as well talk about them. Nokia Bell Labs gets real with real-time digital twin robots for warehouses. So, dude, we've all talked about this. Like, everybody who does a site survey has talked about this. How do we leverage robotics and drones and whatnot to do digital twins and to do imagery of warehouses or facilities or whatever it is? So Nokia Bell Labs showed off a dynamic digital twin during its 100-year celebration. It shows how warehouse managers could remotely make changes to the warehouse floor using robots. And so it's a demo with 10 boxes on 3 shelves. The system reflects inventory movements in real time. A robot was used to move boxes. The digital twin instantly updated to mirror those changes. So something just to be said for the fact that these are things that we've all talked about, things that we've all dreamed about, using robotics to do surveys. So now if they've got a robot that does that digital twin, throw another sensor on there. There's lots of really cool sensors out there, and one of them we'll be talking about in a little bit, because now you have the ability to do a wireless site survey without having a wire tethered to a phone or to a tablet. Pretty cool. Net zero is back. I love it. So this was a fascinating article to be moving on. The tech that safeguards the conclave's secrecy. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on in Vatican right now, and they're getting the whole conclave together to see if they can get a new pope put in place. And I hadn't thought about the amount of data security that's necessary for this. And it's like, it's one thing, they put the special film over windows so people can't see in. Then they close if you watch the show on Netflix, right? They close the windows so there's no photography, any of that stuff. I hadn't thought about the RF implications, and you would hate to think that people are that, I don't want to say sinister or weird, but that they would actually go through the paces to extract data about who the next pope is going to be and sending and receiving data wirelessly. But dude, you know what? You never know, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many cardinals have a flipper, but they talk about jammers and the things that they're doing in here. The Vatican City faces unprecedented technological challenges compared to other conclaves: artificial intelligence systems, drones, military satellites, microscopic microphones, misinformation epidemics, a world permanently connected and informed through social media. And so it talks about some of the signal jammers that they're using, the device checks that they do. They basically turn it into an electronic bunker and make sure that everything is locked in. So you've got privacy film. This is interesting. Contemporary satellites are capable of taking pictures of people's faces from space, while AI can interpret lip movement. Dude, I hadn't even thought about that. Like, I guess it's a big deal. I mean, it's kind of like a pretty big election, but how do you get word to the cardinals? I don't know, man. But I hadn't thought about this. Vatican City, it's notorious for having all the cameras it does. And in this article, it talks about 650 cameras monitoring streets from an underground command center. Vatican City functions as a conventional. They have their own police force. They've got like their Swiss Guard. They have all this stuff. But 200,000 people are going to be expected to be in the city while they wait for the color of the smoke to change. And with that, man, there's some serious security that needs to take place. I hadn't thought about that, so I wanted to share that with y'all. I thought that was fascinating. Amdocs is getting out of the SaaS business for CBRS. I just popped this up because I know CBRS there's a lot of stuff that's going on there, and now there's some new frequency space that's coming about, 37 gigahertz, so 37 to 37.2 gig, and they're talking about a SaaS for that as well. But right now, you have to go in and you have to set the frequencies and channel plan and channel coordinate yourself. Like, how do you even do that? Who else is using 37 gig? I've never used 37 gig, but apparently there's a spectrum out there in 37 gig that might end up in a SaaS. So it's fascinating for me to see that someone's moving out of it. I don't know who else is still doing CBRS SaaS. I know, I've used Federated, I've used Google. I think there's a couple other ones that are out there that are doing it, but Amdocs is proud to have supported the early success of CBRS, and now they're out. Is that a sign of the times? Is CBRS failing because Amdocs is bailing? I guess I won't be tailing or sailing, maybe mailing. How about a peanut? Anyway, terrible joke there. What's that movie, man? The Princess Bride. Anyway, speaking of what's happening in CBRS, 5G, private 5G and whatnot, Dell is announcing a partnership with Nokia for private wireless at the enterprise edge. So they're talking about private 5G and private 4G and how that compares. There's a lot that's moving on in that space, but I think that this week at Wi-Fi Now, I heard, I think it was Stuart Strickland from Aruba who talked about why enterprise private 5G and private 4G has not taken off. And I never thought about it in the way that he presented it. He said you have carriers that's always been presented by carriers who are trying to go into the enterprise space to get the enterprises to buy something from the carriers and telling them that they need it. but you've never had groups that are enterprise Wi-Fi or wireless providers, enterprise service providers, going to the customers and telling them what they need and giving them a solution that doesn't involve the carrier. And that seems to be more of what enterprises are looking for. They're trying to get away from the carrier side. So why would they want to buy something else from the carrier? And maybe that's why, the sales cycle hasn't worked the way that it's supposed to with private 4G and 5G. I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I hadn't heard about it like that. I hadn't thought about why would you buy from the carrier if they're the ones that you're trying to get away from? That totally makes sense. Stuart's a pretty smart guy, man. He also said some pretty disruptive stuff on stage that's gotten a lot of comments and a lot of feedback. He popped off and he said, I'll talk about that in a second when we talk about Wi-Fi now. Anyway, what else we got going on? So Dell's getting into it there. TP-Link, look at this, man. This a new one. TP-Link facing U.S. criminal antitrust probes. Man, there's just, it just keeps going and going and going with these guys. So TP-Link, not having a good time in the courts. Here's the thing about 37 gig. There's a lot happening at the FCC. My friend Tom Luxa, I ran into him on the airplane. He was on his way to go testify at the FCC to talk about the contributions that the voice providers are making and how there's some of that changing. It was a fascinating conversation on a topic that I really don't know anything about. So I invited him to be a part of the podcast pretty soon. I want Tom to come in and give us his opinion on what he's doing in that space and what's going on with telcos and with voice services, specifically with the FCC, and right now how everything's changing. I would love for him to come on and have that conversation with us. So Tom, if you're listening, yes, that invite's still good. That wasn't just something I said on the plane. I found it fascinating. Plus, I want to know what it's like to sit in front of the FCC and have these conversations. Were you accepted well? Like were they happy to see you there? Did it fall on deaf ears? I'm curious to see what was going on there. So speaking of the FCC, framework for lower 37 gigahertz band. This is pretty interesting, right? 37 to 37.6 shared by government commercial entities. There's no real clear rules on sharing it. And so they said they're going to establish the new licensing framework, open up 600 megahertz of spectrum in that space. It prioritizes the military using it. And once you set it up, you have to use it you have to start operations within 1 year of registering your site. And then you have to figure out how to coordinate sites on an individual basis and then register those sites. So I don't even know what that means, but there's not a SaaS involved. So good luck with that. In other news, speaking of fun stuff, so excited, Amazon's Project Kuiper, 27 satellites are floating around Earth right now on the first LEO constellation for Kuiper. Congratulations to the team at Kuiper for getting that done. That's so awesome. It's great to have even another LEO operator that's out there. So there's a lot to come from Kuiper. It's going to be really neat to see some competition in that marketplace. Starlink has a little bit of a head start there, but here we go, man. It's pretty neat. What a fun time to be alive, to think about what can be done using low Earth orbiting satellites. It's pretty neat. At this rate, it looks unlikely that Kuiper will meet the FCC's deadline of having over 1,600 satellites in orbit by the summer of 2026. You never know. And all Kuiper is supposed to launch 3,236. And that's a lot, man. That's a lot of satellites that are going up there. Amazon says it's secured enough capacity to launch most of its constellation with 80 launches secured from Arianespace, Blue Origin, SpaceX, and the ULA. So this one was popped up by ULA. So kind of cool. Congratulations to the team over at Kuiper. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait to start playing with those terminals and see what they do. I'm a tech nerd before anything, so I can't wait to get my hands on anything that's new and out there. Exciting times. Now, if you don't know Susinder, I hope that you would follow him on LinkedIn, because he is such a wealth of information and knowledge and such a fun person to read his posts. And he had some great coverage from Wi-Fi Now. So let's talk about Wi-Fi Now. Wi-Fi Now World Congress happened this past week, and the next one is coming up in Dubai, and it's produced by Wi-Fi Now Events. Klaus Heading and the team over at Wi-Fi Now put this thing together, and they do a tremendous job. It's a really great mix of new and upcoming vendors, people that you probably haven't heard before, mixed with people that you know a whole lot about. And then you get updates from some of the top minds in the industry. And it's such a cool show to go to, because number one, you're going to run into friends. You're going to run into people that you may not know that you would love to meet. And you're going to run into people that are absolute experts in what we're doing and what our wireless world revolves around. So I zoomed in on this page real quick because Eric McLaughlin is one of my favorite people to listen to, especially at Wi-Fi Now. He comes in and he brings the update from Intel on what the rate of adoption is for chipsets, or where they're being deployed, or what Intel's working on next. And he had some really interesting notes this time. Wi-Fi, it says he's delivering 10x the data going over cellular. So Wi-Fi is still the king of the hill when it comes to communications on mobile devices. 10x over cellular. 6 gig is a major asset to Wi-Fi, needs to be used to the fullest extent. It's not right now. And there were some sharp words, some sharp comments from Stuart Strickland, CTO at Aruba. He said 2 things that piqued my mind. One, he said something that was validated by other people in the industry. Let me start with that. And he said, from a Wi-Fi 7 perspective, or an enterprise perspective, Wi-Fi 7 doesn't offer many features that make it a logical upgrade in the next iteration of Wi-Fi. But then the reason why is because the feature sets that are in Wi-Fi 7 are more geared towards home Wi-Fi routers, home Wi-Fi internet access, things like that. And that's an important call out, because it wasn't him just saying don't buy Wi-Fi 7. It was him saying, look, if you're an enterprise and you're running 6E right now, 6 or 6E, 7's of feature set, there's some cool stuff in there, but 320 megahertz channels, for example, are something that he said he doesn't ever imagine an enterprise adopting or using. Now, I don't know how much I agree with that, because we don't know what the future is going to hold and what applications and things are out there. It's important to note that the day before, there were a lot of people talking about VR and AR and all this other stuff, because they were talking in the context of how much data they're going to be consuming. So 320 megahertz maybe, but more in the home than in the enterprise. So I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just saying, wow, to hear someone stand up and talk about that was pretty fascinating. And so 6 gigs still completely underutilized, it looks like. It's Intel's on their 3rd chip now. Adoption of 6 gigahertz in PCs is picking up momentum significantly. He has a chart here that I can't zoom in on, man. I wish I could, because I'd love to see. There we go. Let's see. 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi 7 chipsets, 77%. I don't have the context over it. Over 950 Wi-Fi 7 device models with 6 gig support were identified. That's awesome. But you can see the breakdown in 6 gig Wi-Fi 7 PC 320. I don't know what the chart means, man. But Eric did a fantastic job presenting, and you can look for his stuff. I'm not sure if it's all going to be posted, but he'll also be at the WBA show that's coming up in Dallas next month. So if you want to hear from Eric, make sure you show up for that. Devices with 320 megahertz bandwidth support are coming. So really neat that it's coming. Right now, I only have a device that does 160 megahertz, so I am looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to something more. So what else can we talk about? Whew, that's a lot, man. I know it's a lot, and I'm trying to talk fast and make sure I'm making the best use of your time. So I appreciate it if you're watching. Renee and Mark, it's always good to see you guys on here. But also, I appreciate you listening. I love that we've got the viewership that we do and the people that are listening. I love being in your ear talking about this. As I mentioned last week, I was driving down the road thinking, man, I just wish I could listen to something to prepare me for my podcast. I guess I'll just talk through the podcast. Anyway, I wasn't expecting to see the innovation that I saw at Wi-Fi Now. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just Wi-Fi Now is usually a meeting of the minds, the corporate types, the people that are trying to advance their companies and whatnot. I wasn't expecting to see new hardware or use new hardware or see new features on hardware, but I did. There is some really cool stuff that's coming. May 15th, in 14 days, is the official launch of it. NetAlly has a new product that I would keep your eyes open for. It's really, really cool. And it does some stuff. It's an update to one of their older products, and it's really, really neat to look at and see. I got to see it and use it. It's a great little piece of kit. So looking forward to that. We'll be probably giving one away, hopefully. Maybe not today, but we'll be giving one away soon. Don't worry. I do want to do a giveaway today, but we'll see where that goes. And then the other, and Fernay just popped up, talked about Wi-Fi Halo. Yeah, Halo was there. Open Wi-Fi had a really cool showing, a great showing, as a matter of fact, for the Open Wi-Fi Summit. I got to run into some of my old metamates. My old boss was there. That was pretty cool, man. That was neat. I didn't go to the Halo one day thing, so I'm not sure what was there, but Morse Micro had a really strong showing, which was great to see new tech. But Fernay, myself, and Eva Santos, Eva was there. Love Eva. We got a little reunion happening, and we got to see and get hands-on with something that I'm going to cut a video and send it out for. And we got to use a Cedos Wave connected to an iPhone wirelessly. Bluetooth from the Cedos Wave to the iPhone. I watched Fernay do a survey with no wires. He did a wireless site survey, and that was tremendous to me because it felt so native. It felt like that's the way that things should always be. As someone who's lost a bunch of data, when something resets or unplugs or whatever it is, this is like crazy. It's crazy cool. I'm an over clicker. I'm a habitual over clicker when I do site surveys. Like I have to make sure I tap, 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 just in case I screw up a data point. I want my last data point to be relevant. I don't want to have to go walk 100 meters back to where I was. So it was really great to see it. It is not available yet. It is being shown off in demo. If you're curious, reach out to the team at Cedos. Sidos, they call it Sidos. I call it Cedos because it's I grew up on the border, so Cedos sounds more natural to me than Sidos. But if you like to call it Sidos or Cedos, I'll let you and Mika fight that one out. Constantine did a wonderful job presenting about it at Wi-Fi Now, so we got to see a lot about what they're doing. The examples of what they're doing with AI walls and propagation is really neat. But the thing that stood out to me the most was seeing a wireless site survey, which was so cool. So kudos to them for getting that done. I hope to see it in public launch soon. If you have a Wave, you know that they're running applications on it now, which is really, really stellar. All these micro applications are just going to continue to get better and better with their product. It's really great. So while Hamina is doing incredible things on the software side, like absolutely incredible things on the software side, Cedos is doing some pretty awesome stuff on the hardware side. So glad to finally see it. I hope that this pushes the rest of the industry to innovate this component and get Bluetooth running on their devices and supported across the world. I love it. I'm so excited. It was so great. What else? Who else do we see? Roden Schwartz was there. They've got some really cool webinars coming up about 6 gigahertz broadcast and 6 gigahertz puncturing. I thought were pretty interesting. So if you're interested in that, look at Roden Schwartz. But other than that, man, the sun's going down. Ball games happening down the street. It was a fun week, man. A fun week being out here in San Francisco. The energy, the vibe, just being out here with these brick walls and big skylines behind me. It's always so awesome just to be in this thing. And so if you're interested in getting a chance or an opportunity to come out here, the best way to do it, one of the ways that I love to do it, is sign up to be a delegate for Mobility Field Day. Now, there's a Mobility Field Day coming up in about 5 days. The Gestalt IT team is putting together one of their Tech Field Day signature events, Mobility Field Day, which is obviously my favorite. But if you're interested in technology at all, reach out to the team at Tech Field Day. Fill out the form. See if you can become a delegate, and it's a great way to come out and meet incredible people and learn about technology and be in the scene. Also, WLPC, the call for papers for Prague is now open. If you have any interest in submitting something, man, just put it out there. I can't tell you enough. Just put it out there. You never know who's going to vote for it. You never know if you might end up with a great excuse to go to a great city. WLPC Prague's coming up in October. WLPC in Spain is coming up soon. And that one's going to be nuts. Fernay can talk about that, I'm sure. We just need to have him on the show and talk about this. But the one that's coming up is going to be great. They're doing a limited amount of 10 talks. They're doing mostly deep dive sessions in Spanish. So, si quieres, vámonos. Let's go to Spain and check it out, man. It's going to be really, really cool. Mark says he's sad he's not a delegate strong. I know, man. It's always fun to be a delegate. I'm now back on the vendor scum side of the table, so I don't know if I'll be a delegate anytime soon, but if you know me or know, I'm having a hell of a time over here. Lots of really cool things. Please keep updated with my Twitter and my Instagram and TikTok and all the things. I'm doing some really, really cool stuff and getting to work on some fun projects. Other than that, I think that is time to go. It's been 28 minutes of your life that you've given me, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So please continue to listen. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about. I will do. We've got a bunch of people watching right now on X and only a handful that are watching on YouTube. So I'm not going to do a raffle right now, but what I'll do is I'm going to plan it out a little bit better so we have some fun. There's some great things I want to give away. I want to give away a new net tool. I want to give away some of this new stuff that's coming out from NetAlly. I got approved to give away some really cool stuff from Eero. Got to support the home base, dog. Awesome stuff over here. Some Wi-Fi stand stuff that's coming out. There's lots of really neat things. So if there's something you're interested in doing a giveaway, let me know. I'll be happy to raffle it off to you. Hey, Art, man, thanks for joining. Awesome. Very cool. Great information. Thank you. No way, man. Thank you for listening. I appreciate the feedback, y'all. We're getting a little bit more of it now, so it's really cool to see everyone. Oh, WLPC in Spain, September 12th through 16th. Just look at the WLPC.com. Anyway, that's, I think, all I've got. WBA World Congress is coming up in Dallas. If you're a part of the WBA or if you want to find out what's going on, go look up the Wireless Broadband Alliance. It's a phenomenal show. It happens in Dallas. Lots of good information there. Very similar format to Wi-Fi Now. There's a couple of other shows that are happening between now and then. Nothing too big, but Cisco Live is coming up. So if you're going to be at Cisco Live, give me a shout out. San Diego this year with the Killers and a big party. So Cisco Live is going to be great. I'm going to be going back and forth between there and San Clemente, California, helping support a surfing event. Let me win something and I'll send you something you wanted in Phoenix. Oh my God, man. Dude, I mean, I can do a raffle for a Wi-Fi stand any day. Should we do a raffle for a Wi-Fi stand? I think you have one, Mark. I don't know. You guys want to do a raffle for a Wi-Fi stand? Let's do this, man. Let's try it. Let's give it a couple minutes here. If you're listening to the stream, do me a favor and go to the YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/@wirelessnerd and get over to the YouTube channel so that I can run my little bot so that I can draw a winner. So if you're listening right now, do me a favor. Go over and let's do a raffle. Even if there's only 3 of us, I'll give out a Wi-Fi stand. You know what? I won't just give out a Wi-Fi stand. Let's do an accessory from there. So if there's something that you want, let me know and I will. I'll do it. So let me get into the little giveaway screen over here, and we'll see what we got. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing we did last week, which is you've got to type a keyword, and if you type that keyword, it's gonna recognize you as someone and who's typed it in, and if you pop in that keyword, then I'll draw your name. So we've got a couple of viewers in there. Again, if you're listening on X, go to youtube.com/@wirelessnerd, and I'm going to give you a few minutes here, and we'll see if we can get some people on there. If not, Mark, your chances are looking very, very, very good, my friend. They're looking very good for winning this. I'll give you the. If you win and you're the only one in here, man, I'll give you the run of the house. You can pick whatever you want. Anyway, all right. Well, I think that's enough time where we've sent it out over there. We've had a couple minutes, and I don't even know how many visitors there are, but let's try this. Mark, you ready? So what I need you to do is type the keyword. Oh, what are we going to use here? Wi-Fi stand. Keyword Wi-Fi stand. Type Wi-Fi stand into the chat on YouTube, and I'm going to give it a few minutes, and if I see 1 or 2 pop up, then I'll wait, and then we'll do it. Here we go. Do 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 do. Yeah, like enter your wait music now. I wonder if there's still time to go see the Giants. I don't even know they're playing. I think they're playing the Colorado Rockies. Anyway, oh look at that! Oh, we got another one. Uh-oh, Mark, you said Wi-Fi stand. Okay, hold on. Oh, I messed up. Let me try it again. Viewers, regulars, moderators. All right, the keyword is Wi-Fi stand. And here we go. Okay, there we go. Wi-Fi stand, Wi-Fi stand. Uh-oh, Mark, you have some competition, my friend. There's a few people that's in there. Make sure, type it again if you haven't, if it doesn't highlight, type it again. Aliron Gonzalez, Mark Houts, let's see. One word Wi-Fi stand, all one word. Dan, all one word. Let's see. Why is it showing another name? I don't know. It's like Chatbot or Nightbot or something like that. I'm waiting. Dan, if you want to type it again, like let me do it like this. Let's see, type Wi-Fi stand. There we go. Maybe that'll be helpful in more real time. There we go. Look at this. Hey, okay, it's registered. So Dan, you're registered. Mark, you're registered. Aliron, you're registered. You guys are in there. There's 3. Okay, I have all 3 of you in there. Fernay's not even typing it in. We've got 3 entries. All right, what do you guys think? This is Brad Pitt. Hello, Brad. How are you? All right, you guys ready? I'm like the worst at giveaways, man. And I'm just staring at the screen. Here, let me see if I can load up what I'm looking at here. No, I can't load it up. Okay, y'all ready? Oh, Mario's in there. Hey, Mario. No, one word, dude. You got to write it all as one word. Mario, if you guys don't know Cleverfi, free plug for Cleverfi, check out Cleverfi. Mario has a really cool deal, and he rented a Cybertruck at, dude, where were we? Like CES or wherever we were, and you went driving around in that thing? Yeah, man, that was pretty cool. Come on, Mario, type it in right. How do you change the name to Brad Pitt? Sorry, Brad. You're going to have to call Angelina, and she's going to help you out with that. Let's see if I can send this message to Manu and tell him, hey, you have to... Oh, there you go. All right. Que bueno. Okay. That's 4. Should we wait? Should we wait a little bit longer? I think I'm going to cut this whole part out of the podcast once we publish it, but this is kind of fun. What do you guys want me to give away? Why don't you type that in? Do you want a Wi-Fi stand? Do you want an Excel? Do you want one of the light stands? Oh, you want one of my flat stands? The flat stands are pretty cool. The vertical mount. We got a vertical mount. I wonder if I have any, I wonder what else is there. I don't know. All right, I think that's enough time, man. Winner, chicken dinner. Okay, you guys ready? You ready? You ready? Choose a winner. The winner is Dan Spulecki. You are the winner, my friend. It randomly chose you, which is exciting. Winner, chicken dinner. Send me a message, drew@wifistand.com, and I will tell you what you won. And what I'll do is basically say, jump on the website and choose something. I'll give you a promo code for it. Hey, but y'all, so much fun, dude. You guys are just fun to play along with, and I want you to know that I really appreciate it. I don't have 10,000 viewers on here yet, but what's a flat stand? Oh, I'll show you, man. If you go to wifistand.com, look up the little flat stand. Anyway. All right, y'all. No toys for you, Drew, this time around. I know, Mark, dude, you're bound to win just out of sheer velocity at some point. Anyway, so Dan, congratulations. Thanks for listening, man. I really appreciate it. We'll get you squared away. Make sure you send me an email, and we'll go to drew@wifistand.com, DREW@wifistand.com. Send me a message, and we'll get you squared away. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for listening. I enjoy doing this. Plus, my backdrop's kind of cool, and the sun went down, so it's totally time to go. Have yourself a wonderful week. I fly home tomorrow, which is fantastic. Enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you all